Hello students, welcome to the fourth module of Carbon Compounds chapter from Science and Technology part 1. Let us recollect our previous module. First we have learned about heteroatom, which is a substitute for hydrogen atom in a hydrocarbon chain. The heteroatom may be single or a group of atoms. They are called functional groups since they alter the property of the hydrocarbon. We have learned that carbon-carbon double and triple bond are also recognized as functional groups. Then we have learned about homologous series, where the series of compound which are formed by joining the same functional group. This is important. Same functional group in the place of a particular hydrogen atom, where we are adding on the carbon chain having increasing length. This is called homologous series. And the chemical properties of the members of homologous series shows similarity. They are not same but show similarity. All the members of homologous series can be represented by the same general molecular formula. In this module, we are going to learn about IUPAC nomenclature system. That is, how the naming of hydrocarbons is done. Naming the hydrocarbons started with the system of common names. We know that today millions of carbon compounds are known, but initially the known number were very simple and it was easy for the scientists to name them in variety of ways. Those names are called common names and they still exist. For example, the name of alkanes, that is starting from methane, ending in A and E, from methane, ethane, butane, those are alkanes. They were given from the number of carbon atoms in them. But you take the molecular formula C4H10. This is butane. We know that two isomeric compounds of a straight chain or a branched chain is possible. That is, same molecular formula, it is possible to make two different structures from it. And if you see the difference and interrelationship in them, it was indicated by naming them as N-butane, that is normal butane, which is a straight chain, and I-butane, that is isobutane, which is a branched chain. But when the time progressed, that is when more number of carbon compounds have been discovered, the naming became very problematic and there was a lot of confusion. So there was a need to have a logical system acceptable for all the carbon compounds. So an association called International Union for Pure and Applied Chemistry, generally called as IUPAC, they put forth a nomenclature system based on the structure of the compounds. This provides provision for giving unique name to all the carbon compounds, whatever the carbon compounds may be. As you have seen butane, that is a 4-carbon compound. This is pentane. In pentane also you can see straight chain, branched in different ways are possible. But we know that this can be even altered to a different branched chain. So that is when the number of carbon chain increases, the complexity of naming the system or naming the compounds also increases. So scientists started opting for a common nomenclature system. This is how it came into existence. So if you take the IUPAC name of any carbon compound, it contains 3 units, 3 parts. First one is a parent, then a prefix and a suffix. If you see the order with which the name is written, the prefix comes first, then the parent name and the suffix. The parent name is nothing but the alkane series. As you can see the table, the alkane series start with one carbon compound, that is methane, and it can extend up to as many as possible, but I have taken only up to 10 carbon, which is sufficient for now. So one carbon, it is methane, ethane, 2 carbon, and propane, butane, pentane, hexane with 6 carbon, heptane, octane, nonane, and decane. You should definitely remember this number and the name, because this forms the basis of naming any hydrocarbon. Along with the parent carbon compound, you have to remember the condensed name of functional groups as well, because we are going to include them in our names. The table gives you a variety of functional groups and their condensed names. If you see halogens, they may start with chloro, bromo, or iodo. Alcohol ends with OL. Aldehyde ends with AL. A ketone ends with O and E. A carboxylic acid ends with OIC acid. And amine ends as amine itself. It is very important to remember these also. If you remember that alkane under this functional group, naming is going to be a very simple and easy one. Let us move on to the naming system. Let us see the first step. The first step is you have to draw the structural formula of the straight chain compound and count the number of carbon atoms in it. The very first step is to count the number of carbon atoms in it. I have taken example of two different structures, and you have to number it first. 1, 2, 3. That is, how many carbon atoms are there? In both the cases, there are 3 carbon atoms. The alkane with the same number of carbon atom is the parent alkane. In this case, there are 3 carbon atoms. So the parent alkane name has to be written now, which is nothing but propane for both the cases. If the carbon compound is containing a double bond, then the name A and E should be changed to E and E. See, for example, if it is contain double bond, then the name A and E will be changed to E and E, indicating it is an alkene. If the carbon chain contains a triple bond, then the name A and E is to be changed as Y and E. So propane will be changed to propyne. This is the first step to count the number of carbon atom and to write the particular name of the alkane. The step 2 is you have to see the functional group attached to the hydrocarbon. We know that all the names ends with E. So the condensed name of the present functional group should be attached with the proper suffix. You have to replace the last letter of the name E to the particular suffix. If you take this structure, we have the functional group aldehyde. But initially in the first step, we have named only with the parent alkene group ends with the E. Here you can see. So after recognizing the functional group, the condensed name of aldehyde is Al. This should be replaced with the last letter E. What we will do in case of halogen? If halogen is present, the condensed name is always attached as a prefix. Say for example, with our first carbon chain, if I have a halogen, the name is always attached as a prefix. It will become bromopropane. This is applicable only to the halogens. So the last step, take example of this structure. What we are going to do is we have to number the carbon atoms from one end to the other. You should start numbering from end of the chain. It may be end or the beginning. Assign number 1 to the carbon in the functional group aldehyde or acid if present. So as I told earlier, you have to number the carbon atom irrespective of wherever they are present, either in the functional group. You have to start assigning the number from the functional group if it is present. So let us number our carbon chain here. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is 4 carbon. Otherwise, the numbering can be done in two directions. 1, 2, 3, 4. From that side also it can be done. But whenever there is a functional group present, you have to accept the numbering which gives smaller number to the carbon which is carrying the functional group. Whenever there is a functional group present, you have to give the numbering so that the functional group carrying carbon atom will have the smaller possible number. Take for example here, we are going to start the numbering with the functional group itself. 1, 2, 3 and 4. This is the way we have to number the carbon atom. So after numbering the carbon atom, in the final name, a digit and a character should be separated by a small horizontal line. So the number and the name should be separated by a small horizontal line. If you see the first structure, there is no functional group present, so we can simply name it just as a butane. But in the second case, it is the presence of aldehyde group which have a condensed name as Al. So the number separated by a small horizontal line and the name becomes 1-butanol. There is one more way of writing. You can write it as butane, which is the common parent name, separated by 1. 1 depicts the position of the functional group present, and Al means that what is the functional group present. Here it is aldehyde. So this is how we are going to name all our hydrocarbons. More with examples, your understanding will be better. Let us see some examples. So here is the structure. Let us see how we are going to name this. The first step is, as usual, we have to count the number of carbon atoms and give parent alkane name. Here we have 1, 2, 3 carbon atom. So the parent name will be propane. The second step is adding a prefix or suffix according to the functional group. The functional group present here is OH, which is alcohol. So the name should end with OL. The E in propane is replaced by OL. The third step here is number the carbon atom with respect to the position of the functional group. And we have to add the number with the name. So let us number the carbon atom. The numbering can be done in two ways. I can number like this: 1, 2 and 3, or 1, 2 and 3. In either of the numbering, the position of the carbon atom containing the functional group does not change. So both the ways it can be numbered. So the second carbon is containing the functional group. Add the number along with the name. So the name becomes 2-propanol, or I can write it as propan 2-ol. Both the way it is correct. Let us see one more example. So this is a 5-carbon compound. Let us see how we are going to name it. The step 1 is counting the number of carbon atoms and give parent alkane name. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon atoms are present here. So the name is pentane. And I have to add the prefix or suffix according to the functional group. Here I have to note it down. I am having a halogen, so it should be added to the prefix. So the name becomes chloropentane. Third step is numbering the carbon atom and adding the number with the name. Let us number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here with this system, the fourth carbon is containing the chlorine. But when we number the other way, it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As our rule, we know that minimum number should be given to the carbon name containing a functional group. So what we have to do? We have to take this way of numbering, where when we were numbering previously it was the fourth carbon, now it is a second. So we have to follow only this numbering system. Our second carbon is having the chlorine atom. So we are naming our carbon compound as 2-chloropentane. It is very easy. One more example here with a different functional group. Let us start naming it. First, count the number of carbon atoms. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 carbon again, and it becomes a pentane. Adding a prefix or suffix according to the functional group. I have a functional group ketone here. So the name should be ending with O-N-E. Third one is to number the carbon atom with respect to the position of the functional group, and we have to add the number. Let us start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is the correct way of numbering since the functional group is there in the second carbon itself. But when you try the other way, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, it is the fourth carbon. So we are going to neglect this way of numbering. We are going to follow the first method itself. So the second carbon having the functional group ketone, the name became 2-pentanone or pentane 2-one. Next example. So we have to count the number of carbon atoms. Here it is a very simple structure. I have only 2 carbon atoms. So the parent name is ethane. I am going to add the prefix or suffix according to the functional group. Here this is the functional group which is a carboxylic acid. So the name will contain OIC acid as the suffix here. Now numbering the carbon atom, I have only 2 possibilities, either 1 and 2 like this or 1 and 2. As we know, we have to give the smallest number to the functional group carbon. We will opt this way of numbering where the numbering starts with the carbon in the functional group itself, that is there in the COOH. So we are going to add the number. Usually there is no need to mention the number if there are 1 or 2 carbon atom, but there is no harm in numbering. We will put it as 1-ethanoic acid. The next example here is with the aldehyde. Let us see our numbering process. 1, 2, 3, 4 carbon compound. So the parent name is butane. So according to aldehyde, the name should be ending with Al. So butane become butanol in our second step. The third step is numbering the carbon atom. Come, let us number it. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So we have one more way of numbering, correct? But if you see, the functional group is here and that one is having the biggest number. So we are going to avoid this way of numbering. So we have to start numbering from the functional group itself. 1, 2, 3 and 4. So as usual, we will add the number with the name and this structure becomes 1-butanol. Next example is with an amine. We will see how we are going to name it. Counting the number of carbon atoms, there are only 2. So the name becomes ethane with the first step. Second step is adding a prefix or suffix. The name should end with amine itself here. So we have replaced that E with amine. So the name became ethanamine. And now numbering the carbon atom. So 1 and 2 we can number this way, but the carbon having the functional group is having the bigger number. So we are not going to choose this way of numbering, but we are going to start the numbering from this carbon. And the name became 1-ethanamine. As I told, there is no need to include the number if there are 1 or 2 carbon atoms, but there is no harm in adding also. The next structure is with the double bond I have added. You have to count the number of carbon atoms as the first one. 1, 2, 3. And you have to remember that there is a double bond. So you have to include the double bond in the first step itself. The propane should be written as propane, indicating the presence of alkene here. So add the prefix or suffix according to the functional group. Here the double bond is a functional group. There is no different prefix or suffix available. So we are going with the name itself. Now comes the numbering a carbon atom. Let us start numbering from the first 1, 2 and 3. And we know that this is not the right way to number, since the carbon containing the double bond is having the highest number. So we will choose 1, 2 and 3. So let us start numbering from this carbon, and now the name becomes 1-propene or prop-1-ene. We'll go with the triple bond. Counting the number of carbon atoms, there are 4 carbon atoms, making it as a butene. And as there are no prefix or suffix, as it is an alkyne, so the name retains as butane itself. Now comes the numbering of carbon atom. Here also we will try both the ways of numbering the carbon atom. 1, 2, 3, 4 and one more 1, 2, 3 and 4. If you see, in either way, the bonding attached with the carbon number does not change, because there are even number of carbon atom. In this way, most of the time the numbering will be same when you start numbering on the either side. So the name becomes as 2-butene, indicating the presence of triple bond in the second carbon atom. So this is one interesting structure. Let us see how we are going to name it. Count the number. There is no need of counting. Hence, there is only one carbon atom, making it as a methane. Adding the prefix or suffix according to the functional group. So COH is the functional group, that is a carboxylic acid. So the name should be having the suffix as OIC acid. Number the carbon atom. There is only one way of doing it, 1. So the name becomes 1-methanoic acid. So this is 1-methanoic acid. Now we have a similar structure like our methanoic acid. Here with one carbon and a functional group. So the one carbon makes the name as methane. Adding a suffix according to the functional group. Since it is an aldehyde, the name should end with Al. Methane became methanol. Numbering the carbon atom, there is only one way of doing it, because there is only one carbon, making the methanol as 1-methanol. As you know, it is not necessary to number if there are only 1 or 2 carbon atom. So the name methanol itself is sufficient. So I have a little homework for you children. This table is there in your textbook. So I want all of you to name the structures given in this. You can see the common name also. Sometimes common name can be given and you will be asked to write the structural formula and an IUPAC name as well. As they are used commercially, these common names are, it is important to remember this also. Try doing this. Hope you have understood the way of naming the carbon compounds. So we'll continue with the rest of the chapter in the next module. Thank you.